Strength for today, bright hope for tomorrow. Sounds like the Rams.
It's hot out there, but let's blow them off the line of scrimmage. Headline, okay.
Live from the RamCave, I'm Joe Terosian, and this is RamView, the January 10th, 2025 edition, brought to you by Kistler Law Firm. Injured in an auto accident? Need help? Got questions? Call Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. That's Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. And check out KistlerLawFirm.com. That's one word, KistlerLawFirm.com. Kistler Law, they've been fighting for you since 92. And by Temple City Auto Repair, having some auto issues, get yourself some John and Henry at TempleCityAutoRepair.com. And back to an old sponsor, Outsiders Christian Camps, brought to you by Burbank Faith Virtual. Happy to say that Burbank Faith is sponsoring Outsiders Christian Camps. If you are interested in a campground, let us know. We'd love to talk to you about it. All right. A lot of stuff going on. Of course, the Ram game was moved. We'll talk a little bit about that. A lot of things taking place in and around the NFL. GMs are getting fired. All sorts of stuff going on there. You got Steve Weish saying things. I keep waiting for my phone call to come because I get the feeling ESPN's Molly McGrath, I'm waiting for her to contact me and asking me how I feel to be the only half-breed Armenian pastor sports writer in America hosting RamView, and ask me how I feel about that. And I'm just going to tell her, I just want everyone to have a chance to be a half-breed Armenian pastor sports writer who gets a chance to listen to RamView. I host RamView. But hey, good for the good for the Irish, Marcus Freeman. I try and I try. He's making me he's honestly making me an Irish fan. Yeah, I know that's crazy. A Notre Dame fan. All right, couple of things I wanted to talk about here just before we get into some basic Ram stuff. And it's real basic Ram stuff because they're healthy. And there's not a lot to talk about when your offensive line is set, your receiver room is deep, your quarterbacks are healthy. You know, the only thing that's really hampering a little bit maybe is Blake Corum being out. But the Rams seem to be set. One of the things I wanted to talk about was looking at the Rams roster right now, and there's teams that are hopeful today, and they might not have a tomorrow. The Rams have a lot of hope for today. The Rams literally could beat the Vikings, get the Lions the week after that in Detroit, and this team could beat the Lions. I like the Lions. I'm not going to buy into the whole, feud and everything there. I love what Dan Campbell has done, what Brad Holmes has done. But, they've been living on the edge for so long, and there's going to be a team that gets to them. I think there is. There's going to be somebody that's going to get to them and burst that bubble because they have had an exceptional year. And I think if the Rams get to the second round, that's a possibility. But what I wanted to say today was the Rams are hopeful now, and they're also really hopeful for tomorrow, where some of these other teams, this is their shot, right? When you look at the Vikings right now, they're hopeful, but they still got to settle the quarterback position. Tampa is hopeful, but they got to make some decisions for their roster. Texans are totally hopeful. Philly, though, is a second-round exit for Philly good enough? No matter how deep their roster is, that always feels like it's a place about ready to implode. Is it now, or is it bright hope for the future with the Ravens, right? Do the Ravens want to wait another year? I don't think so. I think the Sharks are going to circle if the Ravens have another postseason disaster. The Bills, it's not about the bright hope for tomorrow. It's about right now. And if the Bills go down, massive repercussions, right? So there's a lot of things taking place there. I think the Steelers, TJ Watt's not getting any younger. Cam Hayward's not getting any younger. There is a sense of now for the Steelers. And so there are teams out there. It was now for the 49ers, and now it's going to be a long time for the 49ers. the Seahawks, by committing to Geno Smith, are basically telling us it's not next year either. The Cardinals have a shot, but they're also married to Kyler Murray. So the Ram fans should really appreciate this. Their strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow, going forward and into the future. Going to look at the Rams card here. Rams are healthy. Vikings are a little sore, a little banged up. Nothing major there, but the Rams are healthy. Presently, though, to follow up on how we opened, on the active roster, the Rams only have 7 players over the age of 30. 2 of them are quarterbacks. And, then you got Darius Williams and Demarcus Robinson, who's turned 30. So the core of this team is young. 22 players on the Rams active roster, not counting the practice squad, okay? 22 players that are on the starting 53, not on the practice squad, not on the IR. They were taken in the 6th or 7th round or are undrafted free agents. 5 are starting, and I'm not even talking about Jalen McCullough or Michael Hoyt, who sub in a lot and play. This is amazing depth that the Rams have. They are in great shape going forward. I want them to win this year, but this window for the Rams is just opening, especially when you look at their defense. There are 10 key contributors to their defense that are in their first or second year in the NFL. That's pretty amazing. That is incredible when you think about all the predictions about the Rams' demise. In the rebuilding years, they've won 10 games each year, plus a division title, and they have a legitimate shot. Am I predicting absolutely 100% a Super Bowl or even a victory next Monday night? I think a victory on Monday night is very likely, but I'm not predicting anything. But we don't have to have fear, right? We don't have to have fear that we missed our window. We're not the 49ers. All right, let's look at some questions and stuff as you guys came in. I know Alabama and Texas is playing. I don't want to take up too much of your time tonight, and we'll go from there. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see. Bill chimed in. I think the Ram players will be highly motivated to win this game. Yeah, I don't think the change in venue is going to hurt the Rams, Bill. I do think, I think there will be a little motivation. If my memory serves, I believe there was a fire issue in 2021, but we always get fires out here so often. It's only our politicians and the KBM that turn everything into an apocalypse. Not to say that this wasn't a bad experience. This was a bad meshing of high winds and fire. Let's see, Bill. If the Rams have home games next week, do you think the Rams can play at SoFi? Right now, I think so. Things have kind of cleared out just a little bit. Not saying it's not a disaster, but I think the air quality is going to get better. The air quality was better today, despite my coughing. Steve Ramirez, shake my head. What am I shaking your head for? Because I'm an Irish fan? Tim Burns, we will win if the juju is good. No way State Farm screws LA residents and the Rams lose this game in that stadium. Yes, that was an interesting thing that happened there with all the cancellations from State Farm, that we are playing in the State Farm Arena there in Arizona, in Phoenix. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. Tim Burns, I love Limmer got all rookie recognition. Yeah, that was imagine the money you could have made in Vegas if you would have said Bo Limmer was going to be a all rookie selection. That is amazing. I mean, again, 6th round picks, 7th round picks, and UDFAs. Amazing. Bill, do you think the disruption of the practice schedule for the Rams will affect their play on Monday? I think the fact that it's an advantage that the game was scheduled on Monday, so they did get an extra day to adjust. I think they already are in Phoenix. And so, no, I think they're going to be just fine. I think they are. I don't think, how do I say this? If the Rams were to lose to the Vikings, it would be a pretty pathetic excuse to use that, you missed half a day of practice or a day of practice. This is Phoenix. They didn't transfer this game to Miami, right? Or London. Let's see here. Let's see. Who do we got here? Let's see. The Tim Burns. Let's give Roseboom his props. 17th in tackles when we didn't expect much. Hey, Roseboom, again, once he got a running mate that could complement him like Omar Spates, Roseboom really rose. Roseboom had a great year, and I've always said it, and I'm taking all my heat for it because it's my fault. It's my statement. I just said he was a glorified special teamer, and he's a little bit more than that, and I was wrong. Let's see. Tim Burns, the Athletic has 5 Rams all rookie. That is 2 years in a row. All rookies. Our youth is in advance. Again, strength for today, bright hope for tomorrow for the Ram fans. Amen. Rod, Joe, what's up? What's happening, man? That would be great, man. Thanks for checking in, Rod. I do appreciate it. I'm doing okay. Steve Ramirez, that would be Ohio State, Texas. Oh, you're shaking your head at Ohio State, Texas, Dave? Let's see. Rod, we do good in Arizona besides this season. Yeah, that was a trap game in week 2. Rams have played well there on that field, so I think it's all good. Neil Gonzalez, what do you think of Matthew's family staying away from home because the girls are sick and don't want their dad to get sick also because of the playoffs? It's business, right? It's business. And, I guess we could say that, no one wants Matthew Stafford to get sick if this is his last go around, right? Is this his last run? Could he retire at the end of this? That's the only thing that would affect tomorrow for me if I'm a Rams fan, is I don't want Matthew Stafford to retire, but I imagine they're just playing it safe. Tim Burns, core players were rested week 18, so practice issues this week shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, that was feel pretty good now about McVay benching everybody, right? I was arguing for the 3rd seed, and the Rams got the 4th, but everyone's healthy. That's huge. Bill, your most hated coach of all time? Mine is Sean Payton. My most hated coach of all time? I don't know if I got a hated coach, but I didn't like Tom Landry. I hated the Cowboys. I didn't like Tom Landry. When I was a kid, I hated Norm Van Brocklin because he talked a lot of trash about the Rams, called them the prune pickers in the early 70s when he was coaching in Atlanta. And, of course, he got the win over the Rams in 72 in Fulton County in the big blowout, 31-3. And then he got the 15-13 Nick Mickemeyer victory over the Rams in 73. And at that time, I didn't know Nick Van Brocklin at that time was a Ram legend. I was only 9, right? But I didn't like Norm Van Brocklin. Steve Ramirez, Rams will be okay as long as it doesn't rain and they can't close the roof. From what I understand, I read in a couple of places, they said that Arizona, the Cardinals, are being very cooperative with the Rams, sending transport here to get families there and all that kind of stuff. That was kind of cool to see. Steve Ramirez, Dick Nolan was my most hated as a kid. But, from 69 through 75, Steve, 74, Rams dominated the 49ers through that Dick Nolan tenure. Did he do something that upset you? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think of, why Dick Nolan would be the one that would tick you off. I mean, Tommy Prothro ticked me off more than Dick Nolan, and I only had half a season with Tommy Prothro. All right, around the NFL and other places, guys, let's look at this. 6 coaching positions: the Jets, Saints, Bears, Patriots, Jaguars, and Las Vegas. Las Vegas canned Tom Telesco. Steve Weish or ESPN is going to do a story, an Italian-American fired after 1 season as a GM, man. There must be some kind of prejudice there. So I'm sure Molly McGrath's going to be right on that. That goes along with Rand Carthon being fired by the Titans. And, of course, Joe Douglas earlier this year being fired by the Jets. I don't know if I'm missing a GM getting canned there, but those are always good things to keep an eye on. It also means the deck is absolutely cleared in Raiderland, and that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Speaking of the 49ers have designated last year's free agent star, Javon Hargrave. He's only 31. He got hurt this year. I think it was a torn pec. They designated him as a post-June 1st release. So it sounds like Fog City, which always pays the wrong people or the wrong positions, is trying to get a handle on its salary cap. And that's good news, right? That's really kind of cool that they're making that move there. Remember, last year also they got rid of after last year they got rid of Eric Armstead and he's not exactly tearing up the league right now, but, just again, breaking up of things. Fred Warner's going to be a year older, folks, right? Just all these little things adding up for the 49ers. And then they got questions about Trent Williams. And there's a lot of stuff there. That makes me happy as a Ram fan. You don't like to see anything bad happen, but I don't know if anyone's shedding any tears when news broke about Deshaun Watson tearing his Achilles a second time. But, you're not going to shed a tear for a guy that's going to make 70 plus rocks next year and 70 plus rocks the year after that, full and guaranteed. I think this is it for Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson makes it back to the NFL, I'll be really, really, really surprised. All right, I'm Joe Trojan, a sports writer for 21 years. Now I do RamView thanks to our sponsors at Kistler Law, and we appreciate them. Appreciate Temple City Auto. Also appreciate the support you guys have had with my books. They're on Amazon. My first novel, Tangent Dreams, sold really well. Game Day in the RamCave is doing well. Thank you for your support in all these things. We don't have a paywall. We don't have a Patreon account, but your purchasing of the books kind of helps me quite a bit in staying employed in my day job, where I pastor a small church in Burbank called Burbank Faith Nazarene. And we're right here on YouTube at Burbank Faith Virtual, burbankfaithvirtual.com, Burbank Faith Virtual across social media. And now we are the parenting body of Outsiders Christian Camps, and we are excited about that. So if you've missed anything in terms of recently, I've gone back to writing my FanView column, which is most all sports, and I post that at midvalleysports.com. I'll drop a link into the comment box before we're done. And you can check that out there. It's opened me up to a whole bunch of other people that I haven't been around for a while. And man, people are taking shots at Leany left and right. It's kind of fun. I had somebody question what I knew about football in terms of just being a sports writer and stuff. And so I said that, I can name the Super Bowl winners. I can name the winning quarterbacks and the losing quarterbacks, and I can name the backup quarterbacks in almost all the Super Bowls. And we got into a little tit for tat there. And I said, I'll make it even harder. I said, for 1972 and 1973 in the NFL, I can name the starting quarterback and the backup quarterback on every team, and I think I can name all their colleges they went to. And I'm not going to do it here because I'm not going to do it right now anyway because I could be reading it as far as So maybe when the season is over and we have dead time to fill, I'll put a blindfold on and then I'll just rattle off those things for you. I really can do it. I can, trust me. So I love it when people come after, you guys could always come after me. Sometimes I just, I think it's just one of those things that maybe you touched a nerve on somebody that they didn't like and they get mad at you. I don't know. Notre Dame, Penn State last night was great. I don't think he'll last long in the NFL based on his style of play, but I really have enjoyed watching Riley Leonard this season, especially in the postseason. And honestly, I'll talk to Steve Ramirez about this. He's the Notre Dame fan. Jeremiah Love's touchdown run last night, where he busted 15,000 tackles, requires a jersey retirement or a statue or both in honor of his fantastic fight for pay dirt. That was just an amazing thing to see. That was amazing. I went into that game kind of indifferent, but Marcus Freeman, man, he just makes you want to root for him. I'm going to watch Ohio State, Texas after this tonight, rooting for Texas, hoping for a San Jacinto experience and not an Alamo experience with the Texicans. So rooting there. Other news here, Ram news, former Ram Robert Quinn was arrested in South Carolina on reckless driving charges and for attempting to leave the scene of an accident. They posted a pic of him online. Didn't look good. That's a shame to know where he has fallen. What else we got here? Okay, so we were doing some mock drafts, kind of horsing around with them. CBS Sports put out a mock draft yesterday, and it is the season, guys. It's January. We're going to see all kinds of mock drafts. But since it was yesterday, I was hoping to get one for today, but Tyler Warren looked fantastic last night. I understand why all you guys love Tyler Warren for Penn State, but CBS's mock draft had him going 13th overall to the Dolphins in their mock draft. But curiously, in the CBS mock draft, they projected Jalen Walker, the Georgia linebacker, edge / both. He can do both, going to the Rams at number 23. And you look at this guy, it's like, oh, man, this guy looks pretty good. But my feeling is why would you project a defensive player on the Rams? I really think the Rams are going to go offense. It's going to be offensive line. It's going to be wide receiver, going to be tight end. It's going to be something along those lines that I think they'd go after, if not a defensive toilet clogger. So kind of curious, especially when you look at mock drafts, to necessarily believe everything you see there. Let's look and see if we picked up some questions, picked up some listeners. Thank you guys. Guys watching me when Texas and Alabama's going on, I really do appreciate it. Tim Burns, Landry gave Cowboys many great years, and to be fired via the media made me dislike the Cowboy ownership. Why no Landry? It's the Cowboys. I didn't care. I just did not care, right? Sorry, Mr. Burns. We disagree on that one. Tim Burns, they don't say look at Joy Taylor directly in the eyes. I don't think anyone does. What was that? Okay. There you go. Now I know what you mean. Tim Burns, you would think Deshaun Watson would never be injured with all those massages. Oh, boy, now you're getting tough. Steve Ramirez on why he hates Dick Nolan, because the 49ers won the division 70-72. I was 10-12. In later years, I respected him. Today, Sirianni is my most hated coach. Everything is a debate to him. He doesn't control his side. If I wanted to talk to a player and one of my assistants got to be fired, I just wouldn't want him there, and leadership issues as far as I'm concerned. Onane Vagish, I'm sorry about the last time if I mispronounced the Viking head coach's first name. It's Kevin. I said Mike. That's funny. Nah, you're cool. Onane, Steve Ramirez, we beat the Niners in the rain. There you go. Steve Ramirez, if Notre Dame wins the title, definitely a statue, but doubtful since when I was in South Bend in 2022, the only statue was Rockney. I just want something. I know it's a lot to ask there, but come on, Steve, I got to know what you were thinking. If that, to me, that was legendary. The Jeremiah, knowing that he's banged up, that was just legendary, the way he made that run. I hope it ends with the title. I really do. And I hope there's a movie about him, because that was amazing. Onane, rain or shine, our Rams will win. Bingo. No fear of being on the road. Bill, if the Rams have 3 third-round picks, what positions do you think they go after? Well, it just depends on where they're at and what they want. What we were talking about. Wide receiver, offensive line, these things are key. Maybe a tight end, depending on how long you want to go with Colby Parkinson, how long. They're going to hold on to Davis Allen, I think, until his 4 years are up, unless he takes a major jump in year 3. And Higbee's getting older. He's winding down. I think he's got this year and he's got next year on his contract because they had extended him. So you can look at a tight end. And then I think they're just going to look for – they're going to need somebody along the defensive front. They're going to need some big fat guys, those toilet cloggers, because it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out with Bobby Brown. You need a Bobby Brown. If you want Kobe Durant to do his thing and Braden Fisk to do his thing, you need a Bobby Brown type. You need a 3-spin, 320 kind of guy that can fill that line there. Let's see. Tim Burns, Scattaboo is projected late 3rd round. His side speed, his run style is a nice fit for LA. Do we maybe think Kyron walks soon and we take a flyer on him? Kyron Williams, man, that's the one that's getting really crazy, right? Because I'm all for not giving a second contract. I'm right there with everybody, but Kyron Williams makes it really hard. Rams are going to have 2 hard decisions after next year, or maybe even going into next year. Kyron Williams will be in his 4th year, and so will Quentin Lake. And we know how the Rams feel about safeties, but I don't think Quentin Lake is your ordinary garden variety safety, right? And so the Rams are going to have a couple of hard calls there. I do believe Blake Corum was drafted to be the guy that replaced Kyron Williams, but Kyron Williams is even better than maybe what the Rams even dreamed he could be. So there is going to be some debate there. And I don't know if it's going to be a happy ending for all Ram fans, right? I don't know if everyone's going to be satisfied when they make that decision. It's going to be, why didn't they keep him, right? Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Scattaboo, regarding him, Tim, I want Scattaboo the first 4 years he plays in the league, because I think by the time he gets to his 4th year, he might start breaking down. But I think his first couple years, people are going to love him. But he's so physical. He takes so many shots. I don't think he's got a long tenure in the NFL. But hey, if someone can capitalize on it, good for them. Let's see. Bill, favorite non-Ram coach, mine is Don Shula. Oh, I never thought about favorite non-Ram coach. I'm thinking about when I was a kid. I liked Don Coryell. I liked Don Coryell because he did it with the Cardinals, he did it with the Chargers, and of course, he never really had a defense anywhere. But Don Coryell would have been a perfect Ram coach, a la Martz and everything they used to do in the past when they had the high flying offense in the early 50s and everything. That's the guy I kind of think of sometimes. Steve Ramirez, in regards to Jeremiah Love, best run I ever saw. Okay, so we're our simpatico on that. The Rams fan, Rams House. Thanks for joining us, the Rams fan. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And I'm remembering to say it while we're still broadcasting. Check out my podcast. That's the audio version of this on Spotify. It's called From the RamCave. We are not making a big mark on Spotify, but we are growing here, and I do appreciate your guys' support. Let's see. Bill, what is the trade value of Cooper Kupp? At 27 rocks a year, it's nothing right now. It's nothing. And I think McVay, McSnead, the whole McSnead organization, Stafford sticks around. I think they all see Kupp's value. And I think Cooper Kupp's going to surprise some people. I think he's beaten up. That body's just not snapping back. I think it's going to be exciting to see. He had a week off, right? And I think he's going to play well this week. And I think it's going to be trouble for the Vikings. But long-term, I don't think there's a trade market for a guy that's making his kind of money at his age and the way he's breaking down. And I really don't want to move him because there's so many intangibles you get with him because he's not maybe what Kupp was 3 years ago. And again, I think he might be banged up, but he does draw a lot of attention. And if you stop giving him attention and you put it all on Puka, he is going to be there for you. And he still will make the big catch. Let's see here. Tim Burns, they have to pay Kyron. Too many TDs. It's an awkward spot, man. It's an awkward spot. I hear what you're saying. I totally do. Steve Ramirez, UCLA's Jay Toya would be a good get. He's tough to move, a good run stuffer. I didn't watch as much UCLA this year, but I'm going to listen to you, Steve, and I'll follow up on that guy. Let's see. Tim Burns, Scattaboo is from Rio Linda. It's the Caucasian Compton. He is a beast, and that is likely going to be excellent. Unlikely going to be excellent. I mean, the first few years. Yeah, I agree. I just think it's an issue of him. I just think it's an issue of him just taking a lot of hits. He's fun to watch, man, because you look at him and say, "Oh, who's this dude?" Right? And he's just one of those guys. He's an it guy. He just makes it happen. Century 66. Thanks for coming in, Century. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Joe, I'm going to revisit the Campbell. See you in 2 weeks. Comment: if the Vikings had to play the Chiefs next, would Campbell have still said it? See you in 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't know if he said it. Again, my feeling was it was just showing respect to an opponent. Just showing respect to opponent. I was trying to go through my head of sometimes, there are guys you played ball against, right? We've all played ball at some point. And, there's the forced youth event where everyone's got to say, yeah, nice game, have the hand line and clap hands, and you never mean it, right? But there's always that one person that you beat them, you respected them, you liked them. Hey, man, you're going to get better. And you kind of know in their head that, no, they're not going to get any better. And so I just took it that, hey, I'll see you in 2 weeks. I respect you, and I got to play you twice next year. So I want you to know I respect you. And, so that's how I take it. If the Rams are using it, great. If it distracts them from taking care of business this week, then shame on them. Onene, yes, I love the hype about Dan Gamble, okay. I hope to see the Lions soon. Tim Burns, so what are our picks in the draft, and what positions do we do in our first 2 picks? Okay, Rams have, I think I've broken this down. Let me take a look at this again. Rams have picks in the first round, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 3 in the sixth, and a 7th. If the Jets take Farmer as their GM, then the Rams would get 2 compensatory picks for him, and one of them would be this year. One of those third-round picks is because of Raheem Morris signing with Atlanta. We got one last year. We're getting one this year. So those top 3 picks, that's likely going to be first 100, 110. And so I think you got to think of a couple things. I think you need a wide receiver desperately. You need a offensive lineman, likely a tackle, and then you go from there. That's what my thinking would be, Mr. Burns. Century. Joe, you're more than likely right. Just trying to find the Rams extra motivation. There you go. No problem. No problem. I wait till all my predictions mess up and then see if I'm right about anything. Tim Burns, Paris Hilton lost her house, but had an in getting a hotel room. Her joke. Oh, that's a funny joke. That is kind of funny. Good for her. That's a funny joke. All right. Let's look at again. We're looking at the more you look at the Vikings, the more you see they are vulnerable. 11 of their 14 wins came against non-playoff teams, and so they are vulnerable. Their pass rush is decent, but the Rams were able to play well against them. Their offensive line is vulnerable, so that opens things up for our pass rush. Their secondary struggled with Nakua in the first game. Rams appear to be stronger now in the passing game. So there's just opportunity here for the Rams, and everyone's just looking at that 14-3 record. And when you break it down, and then knowing that the Rams beat them, knowing that the Rams probably could have won in Week 18, and 14-3 against 11-6 looks different. Let alone the giveaways to Chicago and Miami. The Rams are definitely in this game, and I think they definitely have more than a shot. I'll get to it here in a second. Saturday, you got Steelers at the Ravens. I'm taking Baltimore 24-3. Far be it from me to accuse the media from lifting content from the first half-breed Armenian pastor writer in America and his picks when I said that the Steelers would be no duck walk for the Ravens, because now I'm hearing everybody coming around now with Zay Flowers being out. I'm still leaning Baltimore, but in a tight game. But it's not going to be an upset if the Steelers beat them. They are familiar with each other, and this is the third time this year. And, give Tomlin some credit here. Yeah. And there is no track record that we have for Lamar Jackson in the postseason. Chargers at the Texans. I'm taking the Bolts 28-24. My faith in Jim Harbaugh right now is greater than my faith in CJ Stroud. Sunday, Broncos at the Bills. I'm taking Buffalo 31-21. If Buffalo loses this game and you are a longtime Ram fan, I want you to think the aftermath of the Mud Bowl in 1977 when the Rams lost to the Vikings. If that happens, if the Bills lose to the Broncos, Sean McDermott loses this game, I don't see how he keeps his job as head coach of the Bills. The Bills are in now mode. They are in now mode. Now, they'll always have a shot because of Jonathan, of Allen, but they are in now mode and stuff. It's really important there. Packers, Eagles, I'm going with Philly 27-16. I can see an upset. Easy, I can see an upset. Green Bay has the ability. They've got the better coach, but the Eagles are a better team. My only issue with the Eagles is, can you trust them, right? And the meltdown's always fun to watch. Taxkins at Buccaneers. I'm saying Taxkins are going to lose. I'm going with the Buccaneers 42-34 in a shootout that I think, because I have no emotional investment in this game, it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot to enjoy in that game. And then Monday night, Vikings at the Rams in Arizona. Now, usually when I use my noodle in this game, I'm thinking, oh man, Rams are going to win a tight game. Rams are going to win 23-13, 23-17. But as I was vibing, right, I'm trying to get into that vibe mode there, I came up with numbers popped into my head: 41 for the Rams, 27 for the Vikings. Rams 41, Vikings 27. There, I said it. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Rams 41, Vikings 27. My alternate score is 12-7 Rams. Anyway, Vikings 40, Rams 41, Vikings 27. There. That's my big prediction. Micah Gutierrez. Just tuning in. My wife and I are staying with friends in Arizona and going to the game. See, you've got friends. You've got friends. I used to go to spring training all the time, and I loved the Cactus League. And for three or 4 years, I was out there, but the room rates kept going up, and I couldn't find a friend to let me stay at their house. And so you got friends, Micah. Good for you. Onene, what's your score, Pastor Joe? Vikings versus the Rams. 41-27 Rams. There. I said it. Century applauding Micah that he's got good friends. Tim Burns, I'm going Ravens, Chargers, Bills, Packers, Taxkins. Okay, so we only differ on the Packers and the Taxkins. Okay. The Century 2066, the LA Arizona Rams. Yeah, I'm not a big Arizona fan. It's like it's hot in Arizona. Tim Burns, Rams 38, Vikings 34. Hey, Burns, at least I gave the Rams a 2-possession victory where I don't have to sweat out the last 2 minutes. Couldn't you have looked into the future a little bit and made it more than a 1-possession game? Give me a heart attack here, Mr. Burns. Michael Negretti, hola, Pastor Joe. All glory to God. Keep up the great work, Pastor Joe. Let's go, Lambies. Lambies? What is that? I don't know what the Lambies are. All right, let's see. Okay, we got it.
It was a stone group, my man.
Okay, on this date in 2023, 2 years ago, Liam Cohen resigned as the Rams offensive coordinator after that disastrous 2022 season, all that offensive line, the 2022 Chainsaw Massacre along the offensive line. Liam Cohen is now the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay, and you've seen the year they've had. Born on this day in 2000 is Ram defensive back Travius Hodges Tomlinson. Hopefully we'll get to see him next year. He turns 25. The late Leon Clark, a wide receiver for the Rams in the 50s. He was born on this day in 1933. On this day in 2004 was the last hurrah for the remnants of the greatest show on turf team. The Rams lost in the divisional playoff to the Panthers 29-23 in overtime. I was furious in that game. Rams played to not win that game. They played it safe. Martz stopped being aggressive, settled for a field goal when he should have played for the win. That one was very, very frustrating. We're not on the air tomorrow, but 1971, January the 11th, Rams hired Dick Vermeil as a quarterback coach. He had been with the team in 69, left to be the OC of the Patriots in 70. That team went 2-12, fired everybody, and then Vermeil came home. Happy birthday tomorrow to former Ram running back, Maryland alum Jake Funk, who's bounced all over the NFL and continues to do so after being a 7th-round pick of the Rams in 2021. And then on 2012, the Rams, acquired a 2nd and 3rd round pick. In 2001, January 12th, 2001. That's Sunday. The Rams acquired a 2nd round and a 3rd round pick, number 42 and number 84 overall, for Dick Vermeil going to the Chiefs. They used the 42nd pick on Tommy Pauley, linebacker, not bad. 84th pick on a guy named Lamar Gordon, who didn't last long. And there you go. And Sunday will be the 8th anniversary of Sean McVay being hired as Rams HC. There you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. And let's remember Tom Dempsey on Sunday. He was born in 1947. He passed away a few years ago. So there we go. We got that thing out of the way, and we'll go from there. Cool. All right, guys. I think we got 38 minutes in. I'm not going to go much longer here. Onene, Rams, Vikings 16, Rams 24. Okay. Michael Negretti, Pastor Joe, what did you think of the Notre Dame playoff game? I thought it was a great game. I tried to watch it with an open mind just to enjoy it, but I'm a Marcus Freeman fan. And I hope Steve Ramirez and anybody that's got Notre Dame tendencies tell him to just stay there and hire a good general manager and just stay there and coach football. Be ashamed to see him go to the NFL. But yeah, I found myself rooting for Notre Dame. And then when I saw the Jeremiah Love run, it was like, oh my gosh. And then I like Riley Leonard. I heard somebody float the idea of Riley Leonard maybe being a 2nd round, 3rd round pick the Rams could invest in and let him sit behind Stafford for a couple years and learn. And you know what? I'll dance with that. I think his game, though, is so physical. I don't know if Riley Leonard's going to last long if he plays pro ball, or he will play pro ball, but how long he'll last, because a big part of his game is running and stuff. And I don't think he's, people try to say he's Josh Allen. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Josh Allen. I don't think he has that kind of an arm. And Allen doesn't just have an arm. Allen can really pass the ball. I like Riley Leonard. I like Jeremiah Love. I like Marcus Freeman, and I cannot believe I am pro Notre Dame, right? And the only way this ends happily for me is if Notre Dame wins the national title. Never thought I would ever say that. Semi-happy if Texas wins the national title. Completely depressed if Ohio State does. There we go. Century 66, Steve, that seems a more realistic score. Rams 17, Vikings 10. Man, the Vikings and Rams were 14-14 on their first 4 possessions in the first quarter, man. The first quarter. What is it? Okay, you're saying 17-3, Vikings get a concession TD in the last minute. I don't know, man. I would predict that, but every time I've predicted that, it turns into a shootout. There you go. All right, guys. Boo, Texas. Okay. I got to let you go. I'm going to cut it short here so you guys can check out the college playoff. I will be back at 3 o'clock on Monday. I don't want to be competing with the Rams. So I'll be live for a half hour Monday at 3 o'clock from 3 to 3:30. And then we'll talk about the Rams. And I'll do another show the day after just so we can talk a little bit more about the Rams. All right, guys. So see you Monday at 3. God bless. Take care. Thanks for hanging with me. We will see you soon.